Hello, everyone. Welcome to Developing Palates. I'm Aaron Loomis, coming to you from the Ventura Cigar Company studio. And with me today is Jiunn Liu, Seth Geis, and John McTavish. How you guys doing?
We're doing good, man. It's Monday.
Rolling.
What's up, everybody? Slap that subscribe button. Make sure to subscribe. What's up?
Turn your notifications on.
Turn your notifications on. Slap that subscribe button.
All right. So today we are talking about the Southern Draw Cedrus The Hogan. This is a Bellicoso 5.5 inch by 52 ring gauge. Comes out of the Tabacalera Fernandez factory in Nicaragua. The wrapper is Indonesian Sumatra Basuki. The binder is Nicaraguan Habano 2000. And the filler is Dominican Criollo 98 and Nicaragua Habana 92 and Corojo 99. It's blended by Robert Holt. Price point is $11.99, and the cigar was released in August of 2018. So with all that out of the way, Jiunn, what was your smoking experience like?
I overall like the cigar. I got a lot of dark chocolate out of it, mixed with cedar. When I retrohaled, it brought up spice notes. Got some dried red peppers. And got like a nice, like fresh cedar note. Finish was still this cigar to me was just in general really chocolatey. So it's basically dark chocolate, the same dark chocolate cedar, and it was really doing a good job of kind of hitting the full palate. Strength and body medium throughout the whole cigar. So basically, first couple of thirds was that. The last third kind of felt like that dark chocolate note was less dark, became more like a milk chocolate, and it also carried like a bread like characteristics to it, perhaps like a fudge or brownie character. So overall, it's really good flavor wise. In terms of construction, I rated both the bird and draw to be very good. Ash retention was like inch and a half increments, really solid. The only downside was I had a bit of a wavy bird. On the draw, it was a little bit tight, but it was still really good.
All right, Seth, after you unmute yourself, tell us about your smoking experience.
I was never muted.
I was just preempting. I didn't want to have to get on you about it again.
I know. Classic. I was. I'm gonna be honest. I'm just gonna say right now, I was totally disappointed with the cigar. So it started out. I mean, it just was delivering this cedar, pepper, spice, mineral, and herbal flavor. Got a little bit of a manure earthiness in the second third, and then final third, it just kind of went back to where it was. It just didn't really do anything. Construction was pretty good. What are you doing with the hand sanitizer there, man?
There's this random dude in the other building.
You said manure, so he's getting ready. So
yeah, exactly. Construction was good on it. Good draw, good burn line. I'd say it smoked around medium full from start to finish. About sums it up. John?
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Surgeon.
What the fuck?
I think I had a smoking experience very similar to June's. The first third for me was I got that sort of sweet cedar right off the start, and then immediately turned into this really rich cocoa. And I'm a big fan of cocoa in cigars. That's a flavor that's a no-brainer for me. Got baking spices, a lingering black pepper on the post draw, and then the cedar kind of carried through the palate. So initially I got it on the sort of the beginning of the palate, and then it sort of took up the middle of the palate and mixed in with the cocoa really nicely. And then the spices and pepper kind of did the same. They kind of dragged their way through the middle of the palate. And then in the middle third, there's a little bit of sweet earthiness that kind of started to take over the main profile. Spices and pepper were kind of very light through the middle third, but again, the cocoa really, was the flavor du jour that was kind of carrying the entire profile. Then I would say the cocoa kind of took on this toasted character throughout the last half of the middle third. And then in the final third, still earthiness there, but a little bit of sweetness kind of balancing out the earthiness. And then cocoa kind of, I would say, kind of fell off towards the back half of the first third. But overall, very, very cocoa-y. In terms of burn and construction, I had an excellent experience. I actually I was like forcibly trying to knock the ash off in the first third, and the ash actually held on for the entire first third, which is pretty rare. Especially after knocking it aggressively because I really didn't want to wear it, which is inevitable, but no issues. I mean, there's maybe a slight waviness to the burn, but that would just be a cigar review geek for me. I would say this is perfect as perfect can get. In terms of draw, it was just one notch into the resistance spectrum, but I'd say overall enjoyable. Aaron, what about you, buddy?
yeah, it started with cedar and a really potent baking spice. A little further in, that's baking spice mellowed, ever so slightly, and the cedar was starting to be a little bit masked by that. But by an inch in, a little bit of creaminess joined in, which kind of smoothed that baking spice out quite a bit, made the cedar more identifiable. Retro Hail had that potent baking spice, so nice, decent burn through the nostrils. A little further in, I made a second cut on that Bellicoso head just to see if I could open up the draw, which was quite tight. So it helped out a little bit. About an inch and a half in, that cedar and baking spice were kind of even. Cream was slightly behind it. Strength in that first third was slightly above medium. Second third, cream's at a slight lead over the cedar and the baking spice. A little bit of kind of black coffee joins in a little further in. That coffee starts mixing along with the cream. A little bit of mustiness joins in there. Retrohale's kind of a creamy and musty cedar, and the coffee starts lightening up as the second third's wrapping up, and the strength remains at a slightly above medium mark. Final third, it's kind of all in the taper of that Bellicoso head. Cedar becomes more pronounced ahead of that cream and the mustiness. Cigar starts to warm up about a half inch in, brings a little bit of toast to that cedar note. Retrohale kind of carries that toasty and musty cedar to it. And then as the cigar's wrapping up, the cream drops completely out. And it's just the toasty and musty cedar there. Strength bumps up to medium full. In regards to construction, the burn was really good. A little bit wavy, but it always kept up with itself. Ash hell on inch increments. And in regards to the draw, it was fairly snug for me. I did that second cut and it opened up a little bit. But it was still pretty snug. So Jiunn, what were your overall thoughts on the cigar?
I like the cigar. I thought it was, I dug the chocolate, like the dark chocolate, and then kind of moving into like a milk chocolate brownie fudge kind of a formula. And so that with the cedar and a little bit of dried red peppers coming through, I thought it was a pretty well mixed cigar. I don't think any of this Southern Draw stuff is like absolutely horrible overall. And I don't think any of them has been like complete duds or incredibly amazing for me, but they're all very enjoyable. This is no different.
How about you, Seth? What were your overall thoughts?
I hated it. No, I thought it was
You have
total...
no appreciation for the cigar art, the art of cigars.
No, I maybe it was the samples I smoked, but every sample I smoked was consistent, and it's just
the good people of Indonesia, Seth.
Oh yeah, man, I hate their damn wrapper too, man. I think the wrapper's terrible. So I've yet to find I mean, there's some good cigars with Indonesian wrapper, but I just no, off the mark, man. Couldn't stand it.
What about you, John?
Yeah, man, I enjoyed it. I mean, I don't think in terms of some of the releases the Southern Draws had, like the Rosa Sharon and the Jacob's Ladder and stuff, which I think pushed the echelon of very good. This wasn't that, but it was still very enjoyable, and the strength and flavor profile were kind of smack dab locked in the medium, it's a good range. I mean, it's going to appeal to a lot of people. There's nothing in here that was overly strong, nothing that was overly offensive. Like there wasn't any, harshness to it. There was no strong spice character. So for me, it was an enjoyable cigar. What about your own?
Yeah, I think I enjoyed it. I mean, enjoyed it as well. I mean, cedar baking spice really focused there. It was pretty potent to start out with, but kind of mellowed as the first third was going along. Strength was, slightly above medium, gets into medium full, so it's got some strength to it as well. I just had a tight draw on mine, so hoping that maybe some future experiences will have a nicer draw. And I think that there's going to be some other Vitolas of this cigar in the future. This was just kind of the initial release for the Hogan. So I'm looking forward to seeing this in other Vitolas and seeing what kind of different profile it can bring there. But I thought it was an enjoyable cigar. So I think Seth's really just the outlier in regards to this. Maybe it's just his, affinity for not liking Indonesian wrapper. Yeah. So getting into the scores, start from the top. John, you gave it a 7.02. Jiunn, you were next at 6.92. I gave it a 6.42, and then Seth had a 4.43. So John, how do you think that matched up with your experience? Oh, you're muted, John.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, you call yourself beating the cigar.
That's so rare. What do I always got to be at the top, man? What the heck?
That's the question. You're always at the top. You're gonna be the first one to go, so don't mute yourself.
I mean, I think what sort of elevates, like, to me, the flavor profile of this cigar is what I would categorize as a mid sixes.
Mhm.
Like, it's a classic mid sixes profile, but the construction on this cigar was excellent. The draw was a little snug, but overall great burn. And if you're paying 11.99.
Yep.
We've reviewed cigars that are in that price range and did not have good construction. So I think when you get over $10, the construction pretty much has to be perfect. Like, I don't think there's any room for badness. And Aaron, you gotta embrace V cuts, bro. That's you have a V cut and everything is good, man.
I
You
just
do
have
whatever.
a problem with making my dick-shaped cigar looking like more like a dick. I don't know.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, or
Well,
like a circumcised dick.
Exactly.
so Jiunn, you're up next. Well, how did your score match up?
My shot well, man. I smoke it again. I enjoyed it. This is this kind of stuff is more my wheelhouse. Like kind of that's more balanced, super chocolate. I mean, what's there not to like about a really chocolatey cigar?
Yeah, my matchup's same way. I mean, I thought the final third fell down a little bit, kind of where you're getting into that taper, but otherwise it was a good flavor profile throughout. I had a little bit of a snug draw, so that knocked it down a little bit. Otherwise, I'd be closer up to where you guys were at. So, but Seth, 4.43. How do you think that matched up?
Pretty dead on, man.
Yeah.
Dead on with where it was. I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm gonna admit, like, I don't think Indonesian rappers are good rappers, man.
Yeah, that's fair.
But it's just the flavor profile just didn't do anything. Good construction. I mean, it was a well constructed cigar. It was well made, but at the end, man, gotta dip the tip.
It's all about flavor, right?
It's all about the flavor.
All right. Any other final thoughts from you guys on this cigar?
Robert is probably the best marketer. Like, especially with this recent round of IPCPR cigars with all the like charitable stuff,
Mhm.
right? And then this like not sob story, it's very heartwarming kind of
Tugs
story.
and
Not
heartstrings.
sob story, opposite of sob story. It gets to you,
300
man,
hands?
right? Like 300 hands. And I think this one is about like tribute to like the couple of partners that like contributed to Southern Draw in the beginning,
Yep.
right? And raised money for the actual brand Southern Draws.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very heartwarming. I just want to give this cigar a hug.
I mean, Robert's got a history of re-releasing the cigars in different vitolas, like Coronas and short Robustos and Lanceros. So this is definitely one I would love to try in a smaller engage and see how that. Obviously Seth's gonna hate it more because you'll have more wrapper, but I'd be really interested to try this out in like a Corona Gorda or a Lancero. I think that could be an interesting performance. Maybe that'll resolve some of the draw issues for you, Loomis.
Yeah. Now, if we can somehow get Robert to come on the formula and do this cigar, and we can have Seth smoke an Indonesian Basuki Purito, I would love to see that.
Mm-hmm.
You up for that? Seth?
Sure.
Cash money.
Yeah.
All right. If you
I'll
just
do it.
Yeah. If you just catch this video on YouTube, be sure to subscribe to us, but check out the full written review on the website, developmentpaths.com. Follow us on all the social media channels, and you can catch all of our review recaps on podcasts, so iTunes, Google Play, and Podbean. Thank you for tuning in. We'll catch you on the next one.
The host.